For me, it was a midlife awakening. And I had to lose almost everything. I lost my marriage and I lost my job and I lost my house and I lost all my belongings, but I still kept my two sons. I've got two sons who are young men now. And I kept my two sons, but I had this awakening about what you just said. I had this awakening. And so then I had to convince myself, brainwash myself into believing that I'm enough. So, dude, I said it out loud so many times every day, over and over and over again. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm enough. Just the way I am. I'm good enough. I can do this. I got this. Right? But every day for like a year. And what happened is that as I said it over and over, the corresponding neurons in my brain started to...
Welcome to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their journey, offering you daily reminders that wisdom lives all around us, waiting to be discovered. Today I'm speaking with Jem Fuller, a conscious communication coach whose life reads like an adventure novel. From barefoot backpacker to fire dancer, corporate leader to motorcycle carrier. He's traveled the world collecting experiences and now helps others find ease and flow through mindful connection. Let's settle in and hear the words that have guided Jem through his colorful, ever-evolving path. Tell us your name and what your favorite quote is.
So my name is Jem Fuller, down here in Australia, although I spend a lot of time traveling around the world. And my favorite quote or idea is that in this moment right now, you are exactly who you are supposed to be.
What exactly does that mean?
Apparently, right? Because there you are. So we can argue with reality. We can say, oh no, I should be more like that person, or I should be taller or smarter or faster or stronger or better, but when we argue with reality wins the argument every time. Because there you are, just the way you are, right? So when we accept, okay, so I'm supposed to be like this version of me right now, then I'm free from all the worry.
In this moment, you're exactly who you are supposed to be. Supposed. That's the past. That's whose supposition is that? Supposed.
Well, that's just reality, right? So it's not to say that in the future, of course, in the future, you will be a different version of you because you learn things, you understand things, you gain some more wisdom. And in the past, you were a different version because you didn't know what you know now. But right now, just as you are, all of the good, the bad, the ugly, all of your beautiful parts, all of your struggles, all of your joy, all of your pain, in this moment right now, there you are, right? So reality tells me that that's who you are supposed to be in this moment, because that's reality. It's like saying that tree over there is exactly the way it should be because it is. There it is.
Yeah, just a moment, please.
All good?
When you say this quote, it takes me back to a lot of persons. They want to do something. They have this goal, this aspiration, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't have what it takes. Oh, I want to start a podcast. I am not articulate. I cannot speak very well. English is not my first language. Many other things, and so many excuses." And when you say in this moment, you're exactly, and this is where the angle I'm looking at the quote from. Right? I know there are multiple angles. When you say in this moment, you're exactly who you're supposed to be, it means that you are like, okay, let me change the quote a bit. You have all that you need to do what you need to do in this very moment. And in the future, when you have all those other things, you could do all those other things. But for now, what you have is enough to do what you want to do.
Yes. I love that. What you just said then, what you have in this moment now, who you are in this moment is enough. That changed my life. That belief actually changed my life, because before I had the belief, oh, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not enough, right? Whatever, to live my best life and to experience everything I want to experience. And then when I had, people call it a midlife crisis. They say some people have a midlife crisis, right? Quote unquote. For me, it was a midlife awakening. And I had to lose almost everything. You know, I lost my marriage and I lost my job and I lost my house and I lost all my belongings, but I still kept my 2 sons. I've got 2 sons who are young men now, and I kept my 2 sons, but I had this awakening about what you just said. I had this awakening, and so then I had to convince myself, brainwash myself into believing that I'm enough. So, dude, I said it out loud so many times every day, over and over and over again. I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. Just the way I am. I'm good enough. I can do this. I got this, right? But every day for like a year. And what happened is that as I said it over and over, the corresponding neurons in my brain started to make a little highway in my brain, and I started to believe it. So when I started to believe I was enough, I started going out there and putting myself out there and starting my coaching business and getting on stages and speaking in front of people and running workshops. And then I started to believe, yeah, man, of course I'm enough. You know, we all are. Everybody is. And then my life started to change. My beautiful woman shows up in front of me and our children all come together in a blended family and life is good.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, one of the things that fascinates me is the fact that all the terrible things and all the good things that happen in the world, right? Now, of course, I'm talking about the ones that not natural causes, of course. I'm not flood, hurricane, not those kind of things. I'm talking about the things that, man has something to do with it. They happen in the mind. Before people go into war, it happens in the mind. I'm like, oh, this person should not be living. I think the war of Hitler, that was like, is the fact that all the people believe that the Jews should not, like, they're not, like, it was, yeah, like they believe that these people
Yeah.
are not, like, we should kill those people. And that's why they started taking guns, is like fighting and all this stuff. And that's why it happened. Same thing with all the great things that people believed it in their mind. And then they went on to do those great things and all that. But first it happens in the mind. And then it's not a question of, do I want it to come to life or do I just want to abort it and kill it? And that's it. And
Yes, man. Yes, yes. It's kind of like, it's not so much that there's bad people, there's just bad ideas. And these people believe the bad ideas. So all the Germans who believed that really bad idea that Jewish people should be killed, that's a bad idea, right? And they believe the bad idea, but it's not that they were a bad person, there's bad ideas. And when, like you say, when we believe something in our mind, then we go and take the action from that. And that can have, really bad effects or can have really good effects if you believe good ideas,
Yeah. And that for me is one of the things that I feel like it's very important that we do, because sometimes I know a lot of times people that don't even know me, they've planted an idea in my mind and I'm like, so this stuff is possible. I never knew you could do this thing. You mean it? Serious? And the thing is, once the idea is just in my mind, that's all. That's all. They don't need to like teach me or do anything. They just plan the idea. And guess what? I'm in my sleep. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so how do I know this? Who should I ask this? And now I'm looking for ways. I'm finding the stuff. And then I figure, okay, this is how I need to learn about the thing. And the next thing I start doing the thing. And here I am. And I'm like, okay, I'm a podcaster. It was an idea. A blogger. It's an idea, right? And same thing with evil, right? An idea. Someone plants an idea in someone's mind and then they go on to do the things. And for me, it's the fact that society most of the time has conditioned us to see ourselves as not good enough, reject ourselves, judge ourselves, criticize ourselves, and see ourselves that we don't even deserve anything good, right? That's if something good is happening, we ourselves we're afraid because we're like, what's wrong? And like, why would something be wrong if something good is? And
Yeah.
the strange thing is that this voice is with us every day and night. It's not like your crazy neighbor that's like telling you that, oh, you're not good enough, and you're like, let me dodge, I will escape. Let me pass through the back door so she doesn't steal me or tell me those things. The voice is with you every time.
Yeah, it is. And it's nice to realize that you are not your thoughts. That's not who you are, The thoughts just come and go, like you say, nonstop, always there. That thinking voice is always there. And some thoughts we have, they came from the outside world. Like you said, like someone gives you an idea. And sometimes people, like the newspapers or the social media or the politicians, they can give you some bad ideas, right? And then you have these thoughts. But these thoughts are not you. These thoughts are just like chain reactions to ideas and stimulus all around. But what we choose to focus on, if we have a thought and we meditate on that thought and we choose to focus on it, and then we live and breathe our values, we take action on this thought, that's who you are now becoming, right? But some thoughts come and you just can let them go.
Yeah. When, how you said you kept repeating it, most people will hear that and they'll say, well, what's Jesus saying? He's just saying all these gibberish and other stuff. But the thing is, it's one thing to hear the quotes, in this moment, you're exactly who you are supposed to be. I say, yeah, I understand that stuff. I know what they say. But it's another thing to really understand it, to come to, how you come to the realization that, okay, I'll give an example. Let's say you know that people can make $1 million, right? You know that they've been telling you that people make $1 million. That's it's easy. You can make that money. And then one day after you do a business and all that, you look at your bank account and you see that it's $1 million and it's your money. You look at it.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join. Or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
Yeah.
And you just look at it and you're like, for some moments, you're like, wow, so this is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's annoying. It's a realization. Your eyes are, of course, you knew that it's possible to make $1 million before, but now you're like, wow, this is possible.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you have to repeat that and say it again and again and again, such that even when you are not even thinking about it, your subconscious is aware and knows it. Because oftentimes, before we even try things, because we're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be this, I'm not supposed to be this, we rejected ourselves. Oh, there's a job application, like, they need so person. The person should be able to do this. I'm not capable to do such a job. They're paying so 120K. I can't handle that. That job is not meant for me. And guess what? You don't apply.
Yeah.
So you've rejected yourself even before you applied. Okay. There's an exam, there's a training competition, there's anything. You rejected yourself because you're like, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. And that's a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. If you believe something is not possible, then you're right for you, because you're never going to go and try and make it happen because you believe it's not possible. So you create your own destiny. But if you believe it might be possible, then it might be possible.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to go and take the action and apply for the job, or, do the thing. And yeah, it's true, man. Look, I'm turning 54 years old in
Congrats,
a few weeks.
I hope you send the birthday cake to me. Hope I'll get my own portion of the birthday cake.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what 54 is supposed to feel like, right? I don't know what other 54-year-olds feel like. For me, I feel like I'm kind of halfway, right? And if I could go back to myself, even just 15 years ago, just when I was, in my late 30s, and if I could go back and say, when you're in your 50s, you're going to be running an executive leadership coaching consultancy around the world. You're going to be running retreats in the Himalayan mountains for high net worth individuals. You're going to be building your own nonprofit meditation center in the Himalaya. You're going to be sponsoring children who are living in poverty to go to school and get education. You're going to have a beautiful wife, or beautiful children, and live by the ocean. If I told myself 15 years ago, I would have said, nah, man, no, I can't do that. No way. I didn't have the belief.
Yeah.
Right. And I look at my life now and I go, wow.
Yeah.
But all of this is possible because I believed that I'm enough.
Yeah. There's that moment where, you believe to, like, before you started doing all those things and, working towards it, there was this kind of belief. But there's just that moment when it just clicks. Something just happens and you just stand and you pause. It's as if the world stands still and you look around and you're like, so this is me.
Yeah.
So this is me. And it's like it's not like you're surprised. It's more like surprise and shock and mixed with I knew it. Everything mixed together, and you're like, wow. And you breathe in and you breathe out, and you say, wow. I'm glad I got to see it.
Yeah, and what an incredible world. I mean, now you're sitting in Nigeria in your house and your housemate is cooking some food. And I'm sitting here in a small little village in Australia and we're recording something that can be seen or heard by people all around the world.
Yeah.
You know, all around the world. And there could be one person somewhere in some country that we don't know that hears this and can have just a change, one little change in the way they think about their life, and it can send them in a whole good new direction in their life.
Yeah.
How cool's that?
Yeah. That's it. When I think at a point in time I was like caught up in myself. I was overthinking things, and I still do that though sometimes. But now I'm like, it's not about me anymore, because I know how many persons that because they chose to do the thing they did, they gave me permission to do the things that I'm doing. I don't know if it makes sense, right? I've seen the YouTubers, the other people that I look around that don't even know who I am, because they chose that path. Now I look at them and I have the permission to like shine my own light. And I'm like, I'm wondering that if I shine my light, imagine, I don't know how many persons I will give permission that they just see me. They just know that I exist. They're like, yeah, that guy, he's a Nigerian. He does this stuff. And yeah. I mean, the guy is they just mentioned my state and stuff like that. And I too can do this stuff. And I'm like, so when you just realize that, because sometimes we think the world, we're like, oh, these people will say I'm not good enough, this stuff, and just say that, dude, like, and so?
And so? Yeah. What? Yeah.
And so?
What other people think of you?
And so?
What other people think of you it's not your business.
Yeah, like, and so?
It's and so.
Yeah,
exactly.
and then?
Yeah, I love it.
So what?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's not the fact that people say things. It's the fact that that voice becomes internalized in our thoughts. And then when we think those thoughts, we think we are the one thinking the thoughts, whereas it's just the voice of society, the voice of bullies we had while we were young, the voice of all the people who rejected us and said we were not good enough, all the voices of all the people combined. And so when we're like, oh, you want to start this business? No, you can't start that business. That business is not meant for you. What are you doing this? It's a dangerous place to be. And most persons are not even aware. They're like, oh, that stuff is not for me. I don't think and I'm like, have you tried it? I'm like, no, I've not tried it. So how do you know if you're not meant for this stuff? I just know myself. And like, really? Really? Because people they shortchange themselves from a lot of opportunities. And I'm one of those people that believe that we can create our own luck, right? Imagine I'm recording this podcast. I'm meeting you. I don't know what the business arrangement or things we possibly could do in the future. But now I've increased my luck because I met you. And so probably in the future, you might see my YouTube video pop up. And you're like, yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, this fellow from Nigeria. I recorded a podcast episode with him. And someone might be in the room and like, yeah. And you just put a good word for him. Yeah, he has a good energy. That's it. And before you know, I get, so sometimes, you could create our luck. And when you realize those things, you begin to say, okay, I know I cannot control the outcome. I know I cannot control the result, but all I need is enough for me to get started. Not get to the place, but to get started. And I'll figure everything along the way.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's inspirational. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's true, you know, I see a YouTube video of yours. Of course, I comment on it. You know, I love this guy. He's inspiration in Nigeria. And then someone I know sees it and they go, wow, who's this guy? You know, and then they share it and then who knows, you know, and then anything is possible. Exactly. Anything is possible.
Well, you have to be out there, right? Results don't come from intentions or thoughts. Of course, thoughts is important, but it comes from actions.
100%, man.
So we need to think 100%. And then turn those thoughts into actions, and then the results will expect them. Yeah, thank you so much, Jem. And I nearly called you the name of a previous guest, and I'm glad I did not.
No, you did well, brother.
Yeah.
You did well.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
You can call me anything you want. Yeah. You can call me whatever you want, man. I don't mind. I really don't mind.
No. I'm not in that. I don't think I am in that position to to call you anything I want. And that should be left for your wife.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. She has the privilege.
Yeah. Where can listeners learn more and connect with you?
Yeah, sure, man. They can learn more at jemfuller.com. So just my name.
Can you spell it?
.com. JEMFULLER.com. And also on Instagram, I hang out there posting content, Jem Fuller, LinkedIn, Jem Fuller. I'm not on Facebook very much, but I have a profile, Jem Fuller. Yeah, man.
Okay.
All the normal places.
Yeah, I'll put all the links in the show notes. And it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, you too, Wisdom. Really nice. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm very appreciative.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.